exactly what point did we lose control here?
Maybe somebody ought to tell him that we're the good guys.
Yeah.
Any thoughts?
I've only got one thought. This guy knows where Splinter is.
Looks like your boys are gonna need a little, Where do you go?
Where's Splinter?
Hey, what's up moviegoers? On my main channel, I've done some Ninja Turtle videos covering the looks of the Ninja Turtles in the original trilogy and how the look got worse and worse in my opinion with each following movie. I've gone ahead and put these 3 videos together into one long video for everyone to enjoy. So have a seat, grab a pizza, and enjoy the show. We're going to talk about the live-action Ninja Turtle designs, specifically the first movie from 1990. We'll go through some of the good, the bad, but most of it will probably be good since these were, in my eyes, the best design of Ninja Turtles to date. If you have any suggestions of other properties you want to see me do an aesthetics overview on, leave them down below in the comments. Things that have had multiple iterations like the Ninja Turtles or the Batsuits, something like that. But let's get on with the show and start off with my favorite of the bunch, the 1990s Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle designs, or suits if you will. These are the defining live action Ninja Turtle designs that I feel its sequels, television shows, Christmas specials, and reboots have been trying to top but have failed. In some cases have failed miserably.
We laugh and sing and do our thing with the turtles. With the turtles and we're waiting for you. We're up and tough and looking too.
I don't really think it gets any better than this, at least with what they've put out. Only thing I could see better would be a version of this design done with today's CGI technology. So the actors inside the suits' faces don't show when the mouth opens up too wide like they did with these suits. But besides that, these are it. Let's start with Mikey. I like how they made him shorter than the rest. I don't know if it's ever been mentioned in the books or the cartoons, but in my head, I've always imagined him being younger than the rest of the turtles, even if it's just by a few minutes, which is nothing to us. But since they've lived in a sewer all their life and don't really get to experience the outside world, little things like that are a big deal to them. And to the rest of the 3 turtles, they see him like a 15 or 16-year-old would see a 12-year-old sibling.
And the monster started growling at me, so I threw rocks at him, and I killed him, and then he started flying around that rock.
Stop it! Breathe through your damn mouth!
He has a very traditional Ninja Turtle head shape, and I'm using air quotes by traditional meaning like the 1990s cartoon. His face seems slightly happier than the others. It's subtle, but I think it's on purpose, and it captures Mikey's character, and it's done very well. There's a griminess to him as well. He's green, but in the muscle definitions and the body crevices, the green gets a little darker and even turns gray or brown in some areas, and that goes for all the turtles. Something future adaptations don't really take the time to replicate the subtle detail. Speaking of subtle details, and this goes for all the turtles, the weapon belts, straps, knees, and elbow pads. The brown leather is awesome. It feels vintage. It doesn't look new or polished or glossy. It looks old and worn out, like an old belt sitting at the bottom of your closet somewhere. These details set the turtles apart from all other future versions. And this is just visuals. There's a lot more to it, but visuals is what I know, so we'll stick to that for today. Let's move on to Donatello. Compared to Mikey, Donatello has a slightly wider face and is taller. I always thought he and Raphael's design was very similar, besides the mouth and eyes, which I thought was cool. It was like Leo, as the leader, has these 2 taller enforcers, muscles if you will, to hold the fort down when he's out of commission. At least that's what I made up in my own head. This Donatello has a serious look on his face. They didn't make him all bubbly and stumbling over himself the way they make modern interpretations of him.
Oh my god, oh my god. Leo! 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 Oh my gosh, this is amazing, this is amazing! Leo, Leo, Leo.
Stop, please!
And his tech/mechanical skills are shown very subtly as he fixes the truck on the farm. He doesn't have like calculators and Nintendo controllers strapped all over him like modern versions. His belt is practical and not different from Mikey's belt for the sake of being different, as the diagonal strap going across his chest due to the bow staff holder that's located on the back by his shell. Mikey doesn't need this strap as he keeps his nunchucks at his hip. You know who else keeps their weapons at their hip? Raphael. He's got a perfect look on his face. You could just tell he has an attitude. And these are puppets and animatronics we're talking about. They were done so well that I legit sometimes think that the emotions that are happening on their face are on living beings. But that aside, yeah, he just looks like a guy with a chip on his shoulder. And not a bratty or meathead type chip, but like a New Yorker, get out of my way, I'm walking here type chip, which is what he is, a New Yorker. And all jokes aside, it's not over the top. It's done just right. I love it. He's tall like Donatello, wider in the face like him as well. There's not much more to say. Let's move on to our fearless leader.
Oh, so that's the plan from our great leader, huh?
Leonardo probably has the most traditional Ninja Turtle face out of the bunch. He's not the tallest or the shortest, which I thought was cool because he's right in the middle. Not as strong as the two biggest turtles, but a little faster. Not as fast as Mikey, but a little stronger. Perfect for the leader. Leo also does have a diagonal strap going across his chest and the shell. In fact, he has two skinny straps, which is slightly different from the toys that were out around that time, which had two straps going across his chest.
Cylinder the rat, Toppin each the ninja art, Leonardo the katana blade. My God!
But these straps are to hold his swords in their holders on the back. Jim Henson, you've done it again. This was the type of stuff that he was good at, and future versions of the turtle lose these details a bit. Less is more when it comes to the turtles. Look at these monstrosities that we've gotten lately. What the hell is that? No, Jim's turtles had the look that all further incarnations would not be able to top. The subtleties, the simpleness, the practical purposes for every element. Yes, this, and much more, which I can do more videos on, is what makes these turtles such a success. And I don't want to bash too hard on the newer versions because I know they have fans, but maybe it's time to bring these designs back again. I know animatronics and puppeteering is a hassle and hell, and it's just Ninja Turtles. Only things like Star Wars, DC, Marvel is worth that sort of treatment, and we can keep thinking that way, but you know who's gonna keep making a killing at the box office? Star Wars, Marvel, and DC, which I don't mind. I love those too, but I love the Ninja Turtles, and I know many others do as well, and know what the Turtles and certain storylines are capable of if adapted properly into movies. And hey, CGI is actually good enough nowadays to use these designs, but in CGI form. They don't necessarily have to be animatronics all the time, but these designs are gold, Nickelodeon. I'm telling you, pure gold. But hey, what do I know? Although I do see the popularity of these old designs starting to resurface. These NECA toys are selling for $100 each, and people are buying them. Go to your local Target or Walmart, and most of the merch of Ninja Turtles is the old Turtles designs. I know that's what I look for when I go in, but that's just me. But if you feel the same way, and others as well, why aren't we getting this in the movies? They want to make money, right? So this first movie overall, well, my overall thoughts are obvious. It's one of my favorite movies, if not my favorite movie. And I know quality-wise, there's way better movies out there, but this one holds a special place in my heart, and I'd be lying if I said otherwise.
Hey, what do you think this guy? Get him.
No.
Yeah, you're gonna need it, kid. What? Come on.
Hey, what's up, moviegoers? It was promised in the first video, and now it's here. An overlook of the turtle designs in the 1991 movie Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Secret of the Ooze, or Ninja Turtles Part 2, as some people call it. Ninja Turtles Part 2, Secret of the Ooze, takes place soon after Part 1. I like the movie. Can I watch it as often as Part 1? Well, putting it simply, no. But do I hate it? Not really. I have mixed feelings about the designs. I like them because they're better than anything that comes out after, at least to me. But they're not quite as good as the first ones, and the fact that they don't really use their weapons in this movie, because I think kids were hitting themselves with nunchucks back in the day, so they didn't get a chance to use the weapons in this one because a lot of parents were complaining, brings down the designs a little more. The weapons are a big part of the design of the Ninja Turtles, but yeah, the Turtles are pretty much neutered in this movie, for lack of a better word, and can't really use their weapons. Let's start off in the same order as Part 1. I started off with Mikey. I'll do some side-by-side comparisons with the designs of the first movie just so you can can kind of see the contrast. Michelangelo. Now, out of the 4 turtles in this movie, his look is my favorite in this film. Reason being, it hasn't really changed much from the first movie. The color of the turtles is still awesome. They look dirty, the green is still muted, it's not a bright green. The shells are an awesome part of the design. I just love the way the texture looks. Mikey's still the shortest, so that fits in good with the first movie. But yeah, overall, Mikey's look's not that bad. Not much has changed from the first one. I would say his voice is a bit more annoying in this one though. And that's really all I got on him. Only other thing was, he didn't have his nunchucks at all, as I was talking about earlier. I remember thinking this was pretty lame. I think Leonardo gets to use his swords one time in like the opening sequence, but he uses them to hang off the ceiling as he kicks somebody. And Donatello, I think, gets to use his bow staff a couple times, but that was about it. But yeah, Michelangelo ends up using sausage links instead of his usual nunchucks. Yeah, that'll do it. No one's ever gonna try to use anything other than sausage links as nunchuck. Okay, here's where it gets a little different. Donatello. Wow, now this is probably the biggest change out of the 4 turtles. What the heck happened? It looks like someone smashed his face in with a frying pan. The body looks fine. It's still got the look right there. But for the most part, what is up with Donnie's face? He looks kinda scary in this one. Something's not quite right with the mouth, and the purple is different too. And I guess that kind of goes for all the turtles. I didn't really touch on it with Mikey at all, but the bandanas in this one on all the turtles look all bright and clean. The first one was cool how you kind of had to work to see which turtle was which when they were in dark areas. It was more realistic. Big talking turtles. How realistic should it be, you may ask? Pretty realistic, I'd say. I want to imagine they're in real life, and that's why we're all going to see the live action movie. The argument that this property is just for kids and shouldn't be taken very seriously really wears on me sometimes. Yeah, it's for kids, but why can't kids see a movie where it looks like the turtles are realistic in real life? That'd probably amaze them more than seeing the unrealistic Transformer messes that they've been getting, and probably cost a lot less to make. Well, enough ranting. Overall, I don't like Donnie's design really in this one, and they try to upplay his tech skills a little too much. It's too in your face. Not as subtle as it was in the first movie when he's working on the truck, but at least he's not explaining how a time-traveling scepter works. We'll talk about that next time. Okay, let's move on to Raph. Raph doesn't look as mad in this one. Something about his face is different, but I can't put my finger on it. The mouth is definitely different. I wonder what happened to the old heads from the first movie. The bodies still look good. It's the heads that have changed in this movie that I don't like as much as the first. It's not that bad, though, but without a doubt different. I think old animatronics and stuff like that probably deteriorate over time, and that's probably what happened to the old ones from the first movie. And Jim Henson, I don't think, was around when they were making this movie, so they probably had to recreate it without him, but who knows. I heard they're gonna make Raph the leader in this upcoming Nickelodeon Rise of the Ninja Turtles new cartoon that they're doing now that this 3D cartoon is coming to an end. This one will be a 2D, looks like another reboot of the Ninja Turtles, and Raph's gonna be the leader, it says. I wonder how that's gonna work. I talked about that, funny enough, in my Frenemies video, how I always thought Raph was the leader when I was a little kid. Looks like someone else over at Nickelodeon thought the same thing, because they're making him the straight up leader in this reboot, which I hope is not heavy-handed. When I talked about Raph being, you know, was he the leader back in the day because of the Turtle Power song saying he was the leader, I thought it was cool that it was kind of a mystery if he was the leader or not. Kind of like Leonardo's the poster boy for the Ninja Turtles, so he's like the declared leader of the Ninja Turtles, but Raph is instinctively the leader when they get into trouble. So I hope it's subtle like that and not heavy-handed, but we'll have to wait and see. I'll absolutely do a review on that premiere when it happens and let you guys know what I think. Please be good. Please be good. Alright, Leonardo looks a bit different than the first movie. Best way I can put it into words is that in the first movie, he had a little bit more of a serious look on his face. He was still nice and acted like the noble leader, but his face had an intense, focused look. This one seems more like he's just happy, a happy look. Like things around him that are going on aren't really that serious. The shape of this one is a little different as well, especially around the nose area. Again, like the others, the body still looks good, which is more than I can say for the third movie, but we'll talk about that one some other time. That's really all I got on the designs of the turtles. Overall, this movie is okay. I don't hate it, but to me the first half is a lot stronger than the second half. I find myself unable to finish it as much as before when I was younger. I can still watch it, but I watched the first one from start to finish without a problem all the time. This one is more like when I burn out on that first movie and I've seen it too many times in a row. I'll just throw this one in, but I find myself unable to finish it as often, which is actually the only other Ninja Turtles movies I can do that with. The others that came after this just don't do it for me. Welcome moviegoers to the next installment in my overview of the looks of the different live action Ninja Turtles. I have already covered the 1990 Turtles movie and Ninja Turtles Part 2 Secret of the Ooze. And today we're going to be talking about the dream-killing, soul-crushing, franchise destroyer that is Ninja Turtles Part 3. You can weirdly still enjoy this movie, but to laugh at it and make fun of it. And that wasn't really the point of the first movie. Yes, you laughed in the first movie, but you didn't laugh at it. You laughed with it. Why go in this direction in the third installment? What test screening service did they acquire to think that this was what audiences wanted?
All right, thanks for participating in our focus group, kids. Okay.
The movie takes place after Secret of the Ooze. At least I think it does, because they're still in the train station layer that they found in that movie. So this is in continuity with the previous two. There's the arrival of the actress that played April in Secret of the Ooze and the actor that played Casey Jones in Part 1. But this movie doesn't look, at least from the Turtles designs, like it's in continuity with anything. The Turtles look completely different. This one upsets me the most out of all the Turtles movies. Even though I do despise the direction they're taking the newer Turtles movies. It's a close race. I hate them pretty equally. But this one ended the initial Turtles wave, burst the bubble, crashed the market on the Ninja Turtles. Some would argue it was Ninja Turtles: The Next Mutation, the television series that was on Fox. Though we'll cover that on the next segment, don't worry. But this started the downward slide, Ninja Turtles Part 3. And some may argue it was already on a downward slide, but this turned it into a steep downward slide that made you plummet into a pit of spikes, Mortal Kombat style. Like I did with Part 2 and the overview on those designs, I'll go ahead and put up the turtle designs from the 1990s, the first movie, so you can see how bad the look of the turtles had gotten at this point. And I know it's all subjective, it's art, but there's no comparison. The first designs are the best designs. If you like anything else, you're that person that enjoys barbecue corn nuts. Disgusting. This video will be a little bit different though than the previous videos, as all the turtles in this movie seem to have the same design flaws, and none of them really stand out in any specific way. They are all equally bad, so I'll just go through some of the aspects I didn't like and just go through all the turtles concurrently. This is frightening. Forget The Exorcist, Annabelle Creation. This is truly horrific. What happened? Again, like I'm known for, I did some extensive research on what the heck happened and found this. With this film, the All Effects Company provided the animatronics rather than Jim Henson's Creature Shop, which acted as the providers for the previous films. Despite being moderate box office success, it says, it was the lowest rated entry in the series. Yeah, of course it is. Look at them. It also reads, although it made twice its production budget, returns were barely more than half that of the previous film and roughly 1/5 of the first. Thus, this was considered a disappointment. There would not be a live action adaptation until the 2014 reboot. Sheesh, that's like, well, 2017, take away 1,993. 24 years! Okay, let's talk about the designs a little bit. What's up with the liver spots everywhere? I know they had a similar effect on the previous versions of the Turtles, but it was subtle. This looks like they've contracted some kind of skin disease. My goodness. Looks like Splinter gets serious with their training and puts cigars out on them. Let's talk about the quote-unquote noses of all the turtles. They all seem to have the same problem here. I know they don't have a nose. I'm talking about the part, above their mouth and below their eyes. In previous movies, this part was puffed up, rounded off, to make the turtles look like, well, the Ninja Turtles, at least from what we were used to seeing. In this version, they look like birds or like they have beaks, and the angles are very sharp and it just looks flat. No good. The mouths have got to be the worst part. They look awful, almost as if you cut a piece of tubing or a straw and used it as inspiration to design their mouths. You know what I mean? You know what I mean. So the mouths are straight up scary and not good in any way. The eyes are not very convincing anymore and look lifeless. Something about the turtles in the first movies, eyes that just made them seem so alive. The general color of the turtles in this movie is the brightest out of the original trilogy, which looks too artificial. What happened to the grungy color scheme they used before? before, this looks like a parody of the old Turtles, or at best a cosplay. At least they respected the continuity of the way each turtle has his or own belt style. The shells in the original trilogy always had a lot of detail, and I always dreamed of wearing one for Halloween or something when I was younger. I even thought these were cool when I was a kid, but they're definitely not as detailed as the first two movies, especially on the front. Everything just looks flat, there's no real shape to it. Before, it was kind of shaped like pecs and abs and made the turtles look strong. It was just slightly, but it looked a lot better. This just looks uninspired. What else can I say about this version of the Turtles? It's the worst movie in the OG trilogy. They look bad, they sound bad. What a mess. To me, this movie has taken this property down a path I could not follow.
I don't know you anymore. You're breaking my heart. You're going down a path I can't follow.
But recently, it seems like this property is making a pretty good comeback, minus the monstrosities, which we'll get to as well some other time. But it's no doubt that turtle fever is starting to rise again, at least slightly. For the past few years, I've been seeing it pop up at more and more retailers. But I think it can be capitalized on a little more than people think, especially in cinema. It just needs to be done right, not like this, but more like this, but with today's, computer graphics and whatnot. And we don't need a giant transformer battle that'll cost millions of dollars to produce. A good old-fashioned battle up a building against the Foot Clan, raid style, but a PG-13 version, and a final battle with the Shredder at the top with an Ip Man style Shredder is all you really need to satisfy the fan base.
Maître Jean, tout va bien? Ça va.
Okay, so I'll be doing an overview of the look of the turtles in Ninja Turtles: The Next Mutation after this, so keep your eye out for that. After that, I'll touch on the two live-action turtles that recently came out. Oh, and hey, did you guys see that Injustice 2 is gonna have the Ninja Turtles as characters for DLC? This was the fan reaction to that. When I first saw it, especially when Raph walks out from the darkness in his trench coat, I was like, no way, it's the old 1990 movie designs. My dreams have come true. But then we see all the turtles in better light, and it's okay. It's like 75% of that design. Something is a bit off, especially around their faces. More specifically, like around the nose area. Something's a bit off. Just go 100% with those designs. They know we love it. They're just messing with us at this point. Okay, if you like content like this, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Also, please hit like on this video as it helps with the visibility of the channel. Alright guys, we'll see you in a couple days with another video. Take care.